Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Team Unstoppable's weekly team call. I am Stacey Booth, founder of Team Unstoppable, and it is November 5th, 2015 today, and today we're going to be talking about inviting like a master. So inviting is one of those tricky things, and I posted earlier today about this, but the most important tasks are usually the easiest to not do, but they're also the easiest to do, kind of like brushing your teeth. Brushing your teeth is super easy to do, but how easy is it not to brush your teeth? Pretty easy. So you have to keep that in mind. It's something that you just have to get yourself to do because it's good for you and it'll be something that will move you forward. But so many of you look at inviting in a negative way. You are scared to invite someone because you're going to get a no, or you're scared to invite someone because of your fear of what they might think of you, or you're scared to invite because you feel like they might think you're being icky. There's so many things that you're scared of to invite, but being scared of something is only because you're imagining something to happen. So we need to change the way you're imagining things so that way you can go about it in a completely different mindset. So today I asked a bunch of our leaders what is something that has benefited their life from coaching that has nothing to do with income. So these are some of the responses that I got. And I'm going to go over the responses and I'm going to tell you why these are important. Here's one. I've gained a sense of purpose outside of being a mom and a wife. I'm committed to living a healthy lifestyle, and that's huge for me. I may have never done this without Beachbody. Another, it has brought clarity during chaos. Another, it's brought intentional growth to my life. Another one is, allows me to not miss one memory with my little ones. Allows me to deal with my chronic health conditions without medication. It has eased the burden of having a husband unemployed for 14 months. It's given me confidence. I love who I am now, and I can actually speak in front of people without wanting to vomit. So those are some of the leaders on our page that were telling us, and these are from Team on Fire, our sister line, and they were sharing these things. So if you right now don't have a significant feeling towards coaching and you're not super grateful to the coach that brought you on, think of all those things that you just heard. All of those coaches their lives have been impacted in such a powerful way, in such a wonderful way. Imagine if their sponsor coach never invited them. Imagine if my coach, Heather, never invited me to this opportunity. Think of all the people that are on this team that would have maybe not been invited to this opportunity because I wasn't invited to this opportunity. So there's like this huge spiral of effects of all these things that are affected a part of your life, not just financially, not just physically, but just every part of your life is affected when you join this coaching opportunity. So many things come from that. But the only way that happens is if someone has the courage to invite. You have to invite someone. So I heard this at the GoPro conference and it shook me to the core. It said not inviting someone is you're being selfish by not inviting someone. And I was like, whoa, I got goosebumps. And just saying it gave me goosebumps because I was being selfish. Like, what if I invited someone and they were completely in debt? And by doing this, they got themselves out of debt. But I didn't invite them and they continued to be on that path of debt. Or I didn't invite someone and they, I have so many challengers that have had weight loss transformation and changed the trajectory of their life because of that. I want you guys to really think about that. I want you to think about people that you have invited. Think about the way that you've impacted them. Even if they signed up with a challenge pack in Shakeology and they only did it for a month and then they stopped doing your challenge, yet they still continue to make healthy lifestyle changes throughout, even without your assistance in a challenge group. Don't think of that as a fail. Think of that as a win, because just because they're not doing Beachbody products, who cares? They're on a better track because of the invite you sent them. So I want you guys to get in that mindset when you're inviting, because that's all inviting is changing your mindset. You guys know how to invite. You know that we have in Team Unstoppables, under the files, under how to invite, there are scripts to follow. You guys have the tools to do this every single day. You know how to cold market prospect. We've gone over that. You know how to do that. You just have to change that mindset of, I'm going to invite someone today because I want to change their life. Think about that every single time. So if you start thinking, oh, what is this person going to think of me? Will this person think that I think they're overweight? How many times have people said that to me? I don't want to invite them because what if they think I'm saying that they're fat? Health and fitness is not about being skinny or overweight or whatever. Health and fitness is for every single person we come across. You need to get your body moving. You need to eat healthy food. So you're inviting them to just help better their life. And, I started doing inviting and kind of changed the way that I done it with the mass invites, like on my Facebook page. I've been saying, I've been so grateful to the coach who invited me. I want to give back by inviting you. And I kind of worded it a little bit differently. So really think about that. Think about your actions and your behavior when you're inviting. Also think about where your mindset is. Not only just thinking about, okay, I could change their life, but are you in a bad mood when you're inviting? Are you crabby? Has your kids been on your nerves? I know right before this call, my 7-year-old daughter has been driving me crazy for the last 2.5 hours. And when Jesse came home, I was like, thank gosh, I can't handle it anymore. So I'm like, okay, this is no way to start a team call. Being negative and feeling just overwhelmed. So I totally did the Tony Robbins thing where I just yelled and screamed and went, hooray, and like jumped up and down, because to change your emotions, you need to get in motion. So if you're sitting down to invite and you're in a bad mood, please do not invite anyone. Stop what you're doing, stand up, smile, shout, get excited, because even though you're inviting through texting or a typing message, the way that it comes off, it still comes off the way that you're feeling. It's just like putting things out into the universe. If you're putting negativity out, you're going to get negativity back. It's the same thing with inviting. You need to have that drive and that purpose behind your invite when you're doing it. So I really want you guys to focus on, how you're feeling when you're doing that. All right, so also with inviting, you need to plan out how many invites you want to do for the day. So I put in our page like a tracker that's like says 3 people I invited, 3 people I followed up with, 3 people I messaged you. So find out what your plan is for the day. How many are you going to invite for that day? And then do it. And then review it. So if you invited 3 people, what did you have? You had 3 no's, 3 yeses, 3 no responses. What could you do differently? How could you encourage, if it was a no, how could you encourage a yes? Really, if they say no to you, don't just give up right then and there. Kind of dig deeper into, well, what are they going to do on their own? Because if you've gotten to the point where they say no, you've probably found out why they wanted to do this. So if they wanted to lose 20 pounds, we'll say, okay, I know you're not interested right now, but what are you going to do on your own? Make a plan with them and help them, get them signed up with MyFitnessPal. You can always do the free Shakeology streaming videos for them and say, okay, I'm going to follow up with you in a week and see how you're doing on your own. A lot of times they aren't going to do anything on their own. And so when you follow up with them in that week time and say, hey, how are you doing? Have you made any progress towards your 20-pound weight loss? They'll say no. And you'll say, okay, are you really serious about losing that 20 pounds? Because I'd love to help you. Would you be interested in getting signed up for my next challenge group starting blah, blah, blah. That's a great way to follow up with them during inviting. So if they say no to you, don't just say, oh, okay, see you later. I need you guys to really continue the conversation with that person and find out how you can help them, even if they don't join, because chances are they're just not ready to join right then, or they haven't seen the value in what you're offering them. And that's the case with a lot of people. They just haven't found that value. It's like, I'm trying to think of an example. I can't think of one. But like if you were to go to the store and purchase, like, I don't know, organic apples, and there was regular apples there, and you were like, oh, I'm just going to buy the regular apples because they don't cost as much. But there was someone there telling you why it's beneficial to buy the organic. You probably would buy the organic because you've been given the facts and given the reasons why that's probably a good idea. It's the same thing with these challenge packs. They are willing to buy it if they really know what they're getting and what the value is behind it. So don't just give up and say, okay, I'll talk to you later. You know, really dig in, try to figure out more ways to show them the value in what you're giving them. Another thing is that we're so scared of inviting because we have that fear of objections. You're scared of someone saying no to you. Well, no is just a no right now. But I really want you guys to also go back to the time when you were a child, or even if you're a parent, think of your child now. At one point or in time, we were equipped with we never gave up, no matter what. Like, we kept asking our parents, I want this such and such toy. Can I have this? Can I have a piece of gum now? Can I have it now? What about now? They continue to keep asking, no matter how many times we say no. They're not deterred by the no. They're just like, okay, well, I'll ask it again in a few minutes. We need to kind of hone in on our inner child and continue with that and not be affected by those no's, because it's nothing to do with you. It's not you that they're saying no to. They're just saying no to the opportunity you're presenting them. So we have to kind of dig into that inner child and say, I'm going to just continue to go, even though I'm getting no's. It's okay. And just move forward. Yep. All right. And then also with no's, you know, you can learn things from no's. You can learn things from yeses even. Everything that we do, we can learn from and you can adapt from. So if you have some conversation that goes really well, you're using the scripts and then you follow up with them in a certain way and it works, then use the Google Docs, save that, and use that thing that worked to get them talking to you again. So never just say, okay, that was great and move on. Make sure that you take note of what you did so that you can use that again in the future. And again, if something goes bad, write down what happened there and try not to repeat that kind of interaction again. Another thing is that I've been talking to a lot of you guys and you're telling me that you really want to do this business and that you really want to be successful and that your coaches, if you have coaches underneath you, aren't doing what you want them to do. And it's really hard when you guys are saying that you're doing all of the things, and a lot of you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is awesome, and you're using these trackers that are provided for you. But you need to make sure that you're really doing the inviting. And if you're not doing the inviting, don't be okay with the fact that you're not doing the inviting. You have to do it. It's on the checklist. And I thankfully am very driven by a checklist. If I have one, I have to check it off. If I write down my to-do list, I have to cross everything off. Otherwise, it drives me insane. So find what works for you to motivate you to check something off, or if it's you get to celebrate with a glass of wine if you give 5 invites for the day or something. You know, find whatever it is that works for you, that incentivizes you to invite people and to follow your daily to-do list, because consistency with inviting is what's going to get you guys propelled into your business. If you're not being consistent with inviting, you're not going to be moving forward with the business. So like last month was a crazy month and I was gone for 2.5, almost 3 weeks of the month of October. But I had done so much inviting the month before, and I continued to do inviting sporadically through those 3 weeks that I was gone, I'm still moving into November with momentum. So it's what you did last month is going to count towards this month, because a lot of the people that you're inviting are not necessarily going to say yes the first time. They're probably going to be invited last month and saying yes this month. It takes people a couple of weeks to decide to do something. It always does. Unless you get that rare person that's like, yeah, I'll sign up right now, and they actually do. It doesn't always happen. It's one of those very rare things. So I want you guys to really find a way to track how you're inviting. If you want to share it in Team Unstoppables and say, I've invited 3 today, or I've invited 1, or whatever your number is, like we said at the beginning of the call. Establish your number that works for you. And I want you to really think about that number and not get overwhelmed by it. Like if 5 is the number you really want to do, but honestly, when you sit down to do 5, you're overwhelmed, so you do 0, 5 is not a very good number for you. I'd much rather you say, I'm going to do 1, and you do 1 every single day, than to say 5 and not invite anyone. And a lot of times, if you guys are not prospecting every single day, inviting 5 every day is not something that's possible, because you don't have the people in your pipeline to be inviting. If you're saying you're going to invite 5 every single day, there's a good chance you're hurrying the relationship in a way that is going to come off looking icky. So I also want you to really consider that, because you have to be in a good place to invite someone. Inviting them to a challenge is a very personal thing. And a lot of times when I'm talking to potential challengers, they're going through some really difficult things. Making a change is something really difficult. And a lot of times tears happen and emotion happens. So you have to have that connection with them to be able to move them forward. If you're just meeting them and then sending the invite before you even have a conversation, that's not going to come off very caring. So you want to establish that. So make sure that you think about that when you are setting your number of how many I'm going to invite. Or if you want to do it a weekly thing, like I'm going to invite 7 throughout the week, and you can do 2 one day and none the next if you want, but as long as you hit 7. That's why tracking is so important, because sometimes you think that you've done something and you really haven't. I know that since I started writing everything down, it's very apparent that, oh, I haven't done the inviting part today, or I haven't done following up the 3 random people on my friend list. There's things that fall off that you don't realize. It's just like when you're not tracking your food and you say, oh, I didn't eat that much today, but then you forget like an entire meal that you ate, or those little snacks that you ate off your kid's plate. It happens. We forget these things, and that's the same exact thing with this business. You forget to do something and you think that you did it because maybe you did it the day before. So tracking is really important when it comes to inviting, and come from a place of caring when you invite. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys tonight about with inviting. It wasn't necessarily how to invite, because you know how to do that. You know how to follow the invite scripts. You know how to get their why, but you need to know how to get in the mindset of inviting and really think about what this could potentially do for the person that you're inviting. It could make a huge impact on their life. It could change their life dramatically. I mean, look at Jesse and I. We've lost 190 pounds combined. We've gone from doing a short sale on our house to buying a beautiful home where I just never imagined to be in that particular neighborhood, because of this opportunity, because Heather was gracious enough to invite me. And I thank her every single day, because I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for her. I really don't. She didn't hold my hand through this. She didn't tell me what I had to do to make my business grow, but she invited me to it, and she provided me with the tools to get there, just like you guys have the tools to get there. But you just have to put those tools in motion and do the inviting and do your checklist. So do either one of you have any questions?
No, I'm okay.
Awesome. I see you got on.
Yeah, I had to uninstall and reinstall it again.
Oh,
I'm in the dark because I was I'm in the dark because I'm trying to put Xavier to sleep, but he keeps waking up. So
Oh, no. Well, I appreciate you getting on with us tonight. That's dedication right there, and I love it.
yeah, because inviting is my big thing, and I actually got on yesterday and invited 30 people one shot. So I was really proud of myself. So
Wow.
I'm gonna try to keep doing that. Because the diamond training has the blitz next week, so I'm trying to get a lot of people into that.
Perfect.
So yeah.
Perfect. Well, did you find this helpful in really
Oh yeah.
figuring out your mindset behind it?
Yeah, I like what you said in terms of taking the trying to think of it like kids when you tell them no and they just keep coming back. That actually made a lot of sense to me. So
Oh,
yeah,
good. Good.
helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Felicia, you have anything?
No, I think I'm good.
Awesome. All right. Well, you guys have a wonderful night, and I will be talking with you next week.
You too.
Bye, guys.
Bye.